Good morning. So, I want to talk a little bit about the fear of abandonment on the twin flame journey and how this the twin flame journey seems to um, initiate or seems to trigger our own internal um, core wound of abandonment. The intense feeling of despair that we go through from the rejection of the twin flame, right? Of that counterpart, right? It is the person that can see you the best, is also the person that is reflecting back to you all of the places that you are unfine and not in tune with the divine, and also rejecting you. And you feel like you are connected, but it's like you feel like that other body is familiar to you in ways that it's almost like you're looking at your own self and you're being rejected by your own self. And it wakes up those really intense internal feelings of abandonment. And it takes us, that is why this journey takes us through our core wounds. We're going through our biggest fears, the fears that have been there that we have never faced before in our lives because of the pain of it. It's so intense that if we had a choice in facing those fears, maybe we never would face those fears until we get on the spiritual awakening journey, and then you're kind of forced into it because you can't, you see it, it's in front of your face, you can't not uh, um, give it space anymore. And this fear of abandonment, this this internal fear of abandonment sits at the very core of the ego. So it is like one of the very first um, um, falsity is that we have taught ourselves from the moment we were born and we came into this world and we had that sense of separateness from the all. That is where we also felt abandoned. We're this little child, we have no capabilities or means, we don't have any knowledge yet on the slate, we haven't filled, we get this ego and it's just like an empty template and we get to fill it throughout our lives with, when it has specific structures of behavior and natural forces that come through it like a filter, but then we have to teach it on top of that and collect experiences and like train those structures, but we don't even know what we're doing. It's like you're thrown into this world unknowing and you feel completely abandoned, and you don't even know that you feel abandoned until something comes along and puts that right in your face for you. And overcoming the fear of abandonment is only something that we can do internally. We can't have somebody externally come in and when we have that we feel like we're being abandoned by them, is if we're trying to make them fill that hole of abandonment, that means that we are always giving them the power in our life, because if they leave again, we're going to feel abandoned again. So this is something that we have to heal within ourselves before we can even have any kind of union with our twin, because otherwise we are always going to be giving them that power. And somebody else doesn't want all of your life power hitching a ride on their life, right? So we have to overcome this fear of abandonment within ourselves. And the only way to do that is to give ourselves the security of knowing that we are held, that we are not abandoned, that we are part of the all. And it all comes back to the rising above ego and coming into the soul level, coming into the energetic level, coming into that place of having that complete faith and trust that we are held, that I am not abandoned. I am giving that security to myself through my own process that I am doing and becoming a full realized human being, not doing, being. Um, and when I come into that state of natural knowing and into that state of soul level, I'm already vibrating that out, and then I am able to magnetize to me rather than run after and feel like I have to fill the void by chasing things that are outside of me. So it all comes together to one point at once in the physical world. There's so many different moving parts in this spiritual awakening and the twin flame journey. There's so many different moving parts and different aspects of it, and they all have to come together and mature into one point. And that's where we're all coming back to. And one of the big things in this is overcoming that fear of abandonment, because the fear of abandonment is the unconscious self. It is the sense of I. It sits in the ego. It's the ego thinks that it is its own entity, and it was abandoned by God, by the universe, by the all. I'm not connected. I have to make things happen. It's the sense of I'm alone in this, and nobody cares. Nobody loves me. How am I going to do this? I'm all by myself and I have to make it work. Is very different than knowing that I'm divinely guided and that I am provided for, and that this path was written ahead of me, and that I have come in here to serve a purpose and to give back, and part of my overcoming my own ego and overcoming my own sense of loss and abandonment is for the sake of humanity and for the sake of the universe, and it is um, um, a responsibility. It is a responsibility, but it's also a privilege. It's a privilege and a responsibility, and just be grateful for it. Just be grateful that we were given this opportunity to not only change for humanity, but change for ourselves. We're changing ourselves for humanity and um, for God, for the rising of the all, for raising the planet's vibration. And in the process of that, we get to get ourselves back, and we get to do it by ourselves. We get to go through. Imagine how good it feels when we go through ourselves and we know that we are sitting in our God seat. We're sitting in the power of our own being by our own power. There's such a sense of self realization in that. It is the biggest gift that we can give to ourselves, and as we give that gift to ourselves, we're also giving it to our twin, which is comes back into that unconditional love, which comes back into there's so many moving parts in this spiritual awakening twin flame journey, and all of them have to come together at once. It's like that tapping that I keep talking about. So sending you guys so much love. Thank you for watching.